Love to really get a quick recap of your story and your background and how you really got to where you are today. And then let's dive into some tax stuff for crypto.
It sounds great. So yeah, I started out in the commercial real estate industry, and that's when I learned about how to invest into real estate and brokerage. In 2006, at a place called Marcus and Millichap. Fell in love with like cash flow and freedom and ways to create and preserve wealth through investment, multifamily real estate. And during that time period, I learned from some really smart people, and it was 2006, and things were going really, really, really well. But then 2008 hit. I don't know if you remember, Ben, but all of a sudden things changed and changed drastically quickly. And I found myself, especially in real estate, making just getting some momentum, getting going to like almost like flat on my back financially. Like, how am I going to make it? How am I going to survive? My wife and I had our first baby on the way, and all of a sudden we're looking at student debt, looking at these challenges, and we're like, you know what? Either going to go get a real job, right? Get the W-2 full, versus kind of the 100% commission, big opportunity, or B, get a side hustle and move with your brother into a small condo and figure out a way to keep the lights on by working a place called Cheesecake Factory. So that's what I did. So by days I'd work at Marcus and Millichap, pursuing like my dream of like real estate and making it big in my career. And then by night I'd work Cheesecake Factory to keep the lights on and my wife home full time with our daughter. And so we did this for 2 years, and it was humbling to say the least, because up to that point I've been very successful in college and basketball and scholarships and all this cool stuff. But while I was going through all of that struggle, so were my clients. See, a lot of my clients that were millionaires maybe weren't having to work at the Cheesecake Factory, but they were having to readjust the way they approach their wealth planning and their exit planning, and things called 1031 exchanges, which can put people in a tough position to have to overpay for properties. And so they're having to negotiate with banks. I saw one good gentleman, he owned $50 million of real estate. He was pretty highly leveraged, but he literally lost everything in the next 3 years. And we're going, what happened? And part of what we identified was a thing called a 1031 exchange, or what we call a blockbuster way of exit planning. It wasn't giving him that diversification, that liquidity, that ability to buy a property or other assets at optimal timing when it made sense for him. And so many others faced that same thing. And so we were looking around for what happened. We identified the 1031 was the problem. And then B, what could we have done better? And we identified something called a deferred sales trust. And by that, I mean, a gentleman, my business partner, came in, and he was the guide to this part of the story. And he started to teach me what it is and how it's kind of like the Netflix way of exit planning. Fast forward, I started to apply this strategy to help my clients. And I started to teach and send them referrals, and fast enough, they said, you know this almost better than anybody, Brett. Why don't you go and become a trustee? And why don't you offer this and train CPAs? Why don't you train financial advisors, cryptocurrency experts, how to do this so that they can create and preserve more wealth and not feel trapped by capital gains tax? And so that's where we are. I applied that. I retired from the Cheesecake Factory. My wife and I have five kids full time. She's been a full time mom. And I've been able to pursue the dream of being like an entrepreneur. And we launched Capital Gains Tax Solutions a couple of years ago. And now we're here hoping to serve the cryptocurrency world for something that's been done for a long time for real estate and businesses, but it's just kind of brand new for crypto.